This is Brandon Cutler from AEW. You're watching Cole TV.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to our very special Money in the Bank prediction show. I'm Xlj the Og, joined by some friends of mine. Of course, right next to me, you know him, you love him, the Wrestle Talk drip god himself, Hambone. How you doing, brother?
I am good, brother. How are you?
You're fine and dandy and sweet like candy. And of course, our very own tribal queen herself, Breigh. How's it going?
Going pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Just ready for some money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, I'm still coming off the high of Forbidden Door, man. That was such an awesome show. But WWE is going to have to step up their game. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of excited about this card. Like, I mean, it's I don't know. Like, I guess I'm going into it not like just like it's there, you know. It's like not like one of the big ones, like a WrestleMania or something. It seems like the Money in the Bank pay-per-views always like do really good.
Mm-hmm.
I always love, I love the Money in the Bank match itself.
Yes.
I like this year, a lot of people are like complaining about star power and all that, but I like the people who are in it because the thing I always loved about Money in the Bank in the first place was that it was used to get somebody into that main event scene. So this is kind of what I prefer, kind of going back to what they used to do with it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I agree. I like seeing like your quote unquote mid card talent that be in this match, give them a chance and move them on up the card, up into that upper echelon, if you will. I also feel like too, with this year, I don't feel like the matches are oversaturated. I mean, I know we have 7 competitors in the men's, but I think 6 is a good solid number. I mean, that's what it was when it originally the concept was conceived. So, I mean, we've seen some with like 8 or 10 man. Money in the Bank matches, and that just seems like a little absurd to me. But
yeah,
but I'm okay, and I'm okay with this this field that we've got here this year. So let's just get right into it. And first, we got to talk about the women's Money in the Bank match. And this one's interesting to me because it's literally like Damage Control against Selena, and then like Trish and Zoe against Becky. Like you got like 2 baby faces and 4 heels. Although I don't know if you really say Io Sky is a heel considering how over she is, but nonetheless, what do you think of these? How do you feel about these 6 combatants being in this matchup?
I think it's a good mix-up of, because I mean, you have the veteran Trish, and then you have all the way down to Selena, which I love Zelina, but I mean, you got more of a variety of women in this match, I think, compared to the other Money in the Bank matches that we've had.
I'm actually really surprised to see Trish in this. I mean, no offense by this, but she's 47 years old. She's kind of coming back for like one last run to come into a match like this is pretty dangerous. I'm pretty surprised she's in it. Not gonna lie.
Here's an interesting thing. I just hit me as soon as you said that. Has Trish ever been in a ladder match in her career?
No, they said that yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
During one of the promos, I think Becky said that, or somebody told her, mentioned it.
Huh. Well, I'll be damned. Yeah, that's very interesting. But hey, man, if Ric Flair can have a ladder match at like 50 plus or 60 plus years old, then I guess Trish can do it too. So
That's true. And Trish is in better shape than Rick was.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I feel like this could end up being like Zoe like does all the work for Trish in this matchup. Like I can see it totally going that way where it's like, okay, you go up the ladder, get me the briefcase, give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like you guys. I was very surprised to see Trish qualify for this, and of course, as this recording, this is who's scheduled to be in this matchup. But you never know; they may add somebody last minute or something. But yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with this field. I think I'm a big fan of all 6 of these ladies in this matchup. I really love the relationship between Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus too. I like that Zoe's getting a pretty decent push right off the bat as well. I've enjoyed their kind of little rivalry with Becky, and I'm a huge fan of Io Sky and Bailey. I just wish Damage Control finally fucking broke up, but apparently they're gonna live on forever like cockroaches and Twinkies. But whatever.
Yeah, I like that they put Zoe with Trish too. I like that they, they drafted her, but didn't just bring her in and just like, all right, we're just gonna put you out there and you're just gonna have matches. They actually inserted her in directly into a storyline, which is what I prefer to see when people debut on the main roster. When people just show up and just have random matches for weeks, it's like, why do I care about this person? I like when they come in and they're immediately put into some sort of storyline because that makes them feel like they matter to the show.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely, man. I think it was, and it makes it feel like, okay, WWE's paying attention to them. They're not just like, okay,
Right.
you bumped up on the roster. We don't know what the hell we're gonna do with you, but you're here.
Exactly.
Like, I'd rather it be something like this. So I've been very happy and pleased with Zoe Stark's transgression so far on the main roster. But it comes down to it, who is going to be Miss Money in the Bank?
My choice is Zelina. I think that she is obviously the underdog in this one, but I think, the LWO is really friggin' popular right now. And I think especially with how well Backlash did in Puerto Rico, I think WWE kind of wants to highlight their Hispanic superstars. So I think Zelina will win also because I think that the other ladies are all too involved with each other in some way. So they're all going to kind of cost each other, their shots here. Bailey and Io are having a lot of infighting. So I think we're probably going to see that come to a head, have them cost each other. And I just don't think that the Becky, Trish, Zoe thing is over. And I don't think the Money in the Bank briefcase needs to be in that feud. So I'm going with Zelina.
That's a good pick. I mean, everything you said is extremely logical. It's almost making me want to change my pick. But Breigh, who do you think is going to win this one?
I was gonna go with Zelina too. I mean, she is the underdog, and like I can see it playing out. Like Bailey and Io they're all fighting amongst each other, like you said, Hambone, and then I could see Zelina just sneaking her way up to the top of the ladder and getting that briefcase, and nobody even knowing.
That, man, I would love to see it. I could I could see really anybody in this field win it, but I feel like I don't know. I'm gonna go with my original pick. And my original pick, I'm gonna go with Io Sky. And I think what you could see happen there is the continuation of the finally see Damage Control just split, because I feel like Bailey will be jealous. Bailey may try to take the Money in the Bank away from Io or convince her to give it over to her or whatever. And you've got some more story to be told. So I don't know. I'm going with Io Sky. But I would love, and I think it would be actually more beneficiary if Zelina won it out of any competitor in this matchup. It'd be awesome. So, and
I want to see Zelina win it. I want to see her at the top of the ladder with somebody else fighting, and the way that she wins is pulling out the chancla and knocking them off the ladder. That's what I want to see.
That would be incredible. Give me what I want, Papa H.
Come on, Paul.
That would be dope, dude. I would love that. If that happened, I would mark the fuck out. I think overall, I think this is going to be a good woman's Money in the Bank matchup. But let's talk about the men's Money in the Bank, and I guess we could talk about the elephant in the room. One Mr. Logan Paul was added to this matchup. Now, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with him being in the matchup, but I do got a problem if he's going to win it. And it seems like signs are pointing towards that, but I don't know. I think this is going to be a hell of a fun matchup as well. I mean, you've got your high flyers like Ricochet in this. I always love to see me some Shinsuke. Obviously, they're putting Damian Priest in pretty big spots. I think it's great that Santos Escobar is in this one too. I was really happy to see him qualify for it, and I was really surprised to see Pete Dunne. I'm not gonna fucking call him Butch anymore. Let's just go back to it's Pete Dunne. Damn it. But the man of the hour, the man that is the most over in this matchup, and you know that crowd in London is gonna be going, yeah, LA Knight. What do y'all make of this matchup?
So this is a perfect example of what I said before. Like, it's, mostly a bunch of mid-carders that are just on that cusp of getting into the main event. So I love the field that's in this. I feel like everybody feels the same way about Logan Paul. He's a piece of shit in real life, and unfortunately, he's really good at this. And I wish he wasn't a piece of trash, because I would really like him as a wrestler. I do think that there is a chance that he could win. That'd be a very WWE thing to do. But at the same time, if you're asking my choice, I don't actually think he's going to win. I do think that they are going to give it to LA Knight. And I do think that I just don't think that I feel like Logan Paul, what we're going towards is Logan Paul and Ricochet at SummerSlam. Because we got that moment in the Royal Rumble. Logan Paul came back a couple weeks ago. Ricochet came out and interrupted him. I feel like somehow Ricochet is going to cost Logan, and we're going to get a spot fest match between them two at SummerSlam, because I feel like WWE does not think that Logan Paul is as big as they did originally.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like they think he's really good, and that's why they re-signed him and brought him back. But, Logan Paul really spiked the ratings? Even if there have been people out there comparing the views on YouTube, like between LA Knight and Logan Paul, and LA Knight's like hundreds of thousands ahead of him. I just don't think WWE is looking at him and going, we're going to give him the world title because he's a name, because I don't think he's bringing eyes to the product.
That's an interesting thought process. And I hope you're right. Because in the pit of my stomach, I feel like this scenario is going to go down. Logan Paul wins this damn thing. Logan Paul, jumps Seth at the end, after that matchup, and Logan Paul fucking wins the title, and it sets it up for Paul Rollins, too, at SummerSlam. And my gut, I feel like that's what
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope I'm wrong. But Breigh, what do you think on this one?
First, 7's such an oddball number. They should have took one. I hate to say it. They should have took one of the guys out and put Logan Paul in there and made it 6 instead of just 7, or else added another woman to their match to make it even. But I'm afraid it's going to kind of play out like last year, where Vince inserted Austin Theory and Austin Theory won. It wouldn't surprise me if Logan Paul won, which, it wouldn't surprise me, but I really want LA Knight to win.
Yes. Yeah, I think we're all kind of on the same page here. I feel like I saying, in my gut, I feel like it's gonna be Logan Paul, but damn it, I am listening to my heart, and I am going with LA Knight, because in my opinion, that guy is the most deserving person to win this Money in the Bank in years. It's a damn shame. Yeah, talk to me. It's a damn shame that it took some dumbasses to realize the greatness of him this long. But you know what? Better late than never, right? So, and that crowd, that London crowd is going to be going ballistic for LA Knight when he comes out.
If LA Knight doesn't win, they are going to let everyone know how they feel about that.
Yeah. And if he doesn't win, people are clearly going to be pissed. And I don't really think that WWE cares. They don't really care what we want anymore. I haven't felt that way in years. But, my biggest gripe with the whole LA Knight thing is that they were complaining about that they were concerned about his age because he's 40. And in my head, I went, didn't AJ Styles debut in WWE at 40 years old?
Right, yeah.
40 doesn't mean anything anymore. You could get 5... 6, 7, 8 more good years out of LA Knight. You know what I mean? The guy's in great fucking shape. I think we'll be fine for a couple years. If you
Yeah.
push them and just give them that shot.
And the thing is, he's a smart worker too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't recall, I don't know. You'd have to go back and look at his long, illustrious career, but I don't remember him having like a serious like injury or anything like that, or being out.
Yeah, he works pretty safe in the ring. He doesn't do any crazy spots or moves or anything like that. So fucking push him. Come on, Papa H. Come on,
Papa
Paul.
H. Oh, that's right. Because we're on a first name basis with old Paul. Do it.
It's Paul when I'm angry with him. It's Papa H when I'm happy.
There you go. So, well, we got some title matches at Money in the Bank too. Up first, let's talk about your newly unified women's tag team champions, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, going up against Raquel Rodriguez, and I guess she's not having MJF's baby no more, or Liv Morgan. So I don't know. I don't want to be negative about this and stuff, but I don't really give a shit. I was thinking about this the other day. Ronda Rousey is, I feel like, not only just in like wrestling, but in pop culture in general, is so irrelevant. Like, I think people honestly is like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, she used to fight many years ago. I don't think she has the appeal that I think she had, years ago. And I don't know. Her and Shayna as a team's fine and all, but it's just like, I feel like these tag team titles are the equivalent in WWE to like the TNT title in AEW, where I just don't give a shit who wins and or holds them. I just don't.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, that's WWE's fault. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about the titles. They don't have enough actual teams to make these matter. I mean, I actually think it's a good thing that they unified them, because there's not enough teams. There's 3 actual women's teams, and that's it. The rest are just people they're throwing together just to have something to do. So they don't make it mean anything. The one thing that I will say about Ronda Rousey, I don't hate Ronda Rousey like a lot of the wrestling community does. But I do respect her, because at the end of the day, she wants these titles to matter. More so than that, she's very outspoken about wanting the women to matter more and have more time. She's not just talking about herself. She wants the women's division to matter in WWE, and she's trying to make that happen as much as she can, in my opinion. So I've got nothing but respect for her for that.
Well, you make a good point there. Breigh, what do you think about this one?
I mean, no hate to any of the women, but it's probably my least, like, the match I'm least looking forward to.
Yeah.
It's just like there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I like Ronda Rousey. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I think Liv and Raquel are going to end up winning the belts back.
Oh, that's interesting. I do like the tandem of Liv and Raquel. I think they make a good tag team. But I don't know, man. Like, and don't get me wrong, I don't hate Ronda Rousey by any means, and I mean, I do respect, like, for her. She doesn't have to do this. She's doing it because she wants to. But I think at the end of the day, it's just the stigma over those tag titles. I mean, I can't think of any tag team that's held those that I thought that wasn't was like a true tag team. Let's put it that way. Other than like the Kabuki Warriors, like, that's about it. Like, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong with that. Well, I guess Boston Hug Connection when they first won them, but I don't know. I just not feeling it. For me, this is a P break match, and I think Ronda and Shane are going to retain.
I think Ronda and Shayna retain too. I don't think they're going to be losing those titles for a long time, honestly. I think they're the perfect people to have them on right now, especially because I think this is a great place for Ronda to be. Have her team with Shayna, let Shayna do most of the heavy work, let Ronda come in and just kind of clean up, instead of just having singles matches by herself where her weaknesses are more apparent. So I'm going Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah. I think I would be pretty shocked. I think that this would be the most shocked, is if Raquel and Liv win them. But I'd be happy though with that. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see Saturday what happens. And also at Money in the Bank, we found out we're getting the Intercontinental Championship will be on the line as Gunther defends against Riddle. Are you guys pumped for this one?
Mm.
Eh.
I'm pumped to see Riddle get chopped.
Yes. Yeah, and his reaction, just like,
something has been off with Riddle since he came back.
I was gonna say that. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He's not as over as he was. I don't know if people changed their tune on him because of all the shit that was going on in his personal life or what. But something just seems off with Riddle since he came back. I'm not excited for the feud, but I think the match will be great. I think these two will put on a great match together. We know Riddle can go. We know Gunther can go. So the match will be good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very physical matchup. And I do believe these guys have met before, like in Progress, or met like in other independent promotions. So, I mean, they are familiar with each other.
Yeah.
I do feel like this match to me is kind of reminded me, like, go back to WrestleMania a couple of years ago. And I remember like a matchup that was kind of like a hidden gem matchup on WrestleMania. I forget which one, but it was Riddle against Sheamus. And I think this is going to be something kind of similar, where this is just going to be just a physical battle. Like Riddle's chest is going to be beat red. At the end of the day, though, I mean, Gunther's going to retain the IC title. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Yeah, no, I agree. Gunther's the winner here.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. I take my maybe I probably would be more shocked if Gunther lost than the Ronda and Shayna. Now that I think about it, but. Breigh, who you got in this one?
I think it's a really easy pick. I got to go with Gunther.
Yeah. Let me ask
Who beats this man?
I know. That's what I was going to say. Who do you think is going to beat
this man?
Yeah.
There's part of me that feels like we're gonna go to a point where Gunther somehow gets a world heavyweight title shot and just gives up the Intercontinental belt. He goes, I'm moving on. I'm done with this. I'm moving on. Like, I can see that happening with his character because I just don't see anybody beating him right now.
Let me throw a wild scenario at you. And I don't think this is going to happen, but it just kind of popped up in my like crazy wrestling brain. What if the winner of the men's Money in the Bank match cashes in on Gunther after this war with Riddle? And let's just say, so then it's like, okay, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, like, then, and I can tell you this, if that happens, it would not be any of the men that are in that Money in the Bank match that's advertised anyway. What happens if we get, like, let's make it even in that match? We get a surprise returning Drew McIntyre. Drew gets the Money in the Bank and he cashes in on Gunther this night.
I'm going to be honest, that would disappoint the fuck out of me.
That would disappoint the fuck out of me too, honestly.
It would. That was, again, I love Money in the Bank because we got a bunch of mid-carders. Somebody's going to win it and we're going to push somebody. I really don't want to see a former two-time world champion come back, win it, and then cash it in for the Intercontinental title. It's just not what I want out of that match.
No, and I hate this rule now too, where you can cash in on any title. It's just like, why would you? And I was so confused when Riddle did, or when Austin Theory did that on Seth for the U.S. Like, just no offense against those titles, but that's not what this is.
Yeah.
And I will say this, and I forgot to mention this about the Money in the Bank matches. I do feel like in some way, one of those, like whether it's the female or the males, but one of them is going to cash in that night because it seems like WWE has been doing that the past couple of years. Which I hope it doesn't go that way. I would prefer them just to have, like, have it for a while or have it for a little bit, like tease, because that's always the fun part with Money in the Bank is the tease, It's like, okay, when's it going to happen? But when it happens instantaneously, it takes a little bit away from the magic, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, this matchup. Let me ask you guys a question. How fucking nuts is Cody Rhodes accepting this matchup? I mean, yeah, Brock Lesnar's one thing. Roman's another thing at Mania, but now you're going to go up against a hardened criminal and Dom.
I was
Cody,
gonna say,
what the fuck are you thinking, dude?
you know what the one difference between Dom and every other opponent that Cody's ever faces? None of them have been to prison.
That's
It's
right.
true. They didn't serve hard time.
No.
Like Cody is we know Cody's so brave and bold, but like this, I just think this is just too much. Like Dom's been working out in the yard. You know,
I was gonna say, do you know what they would do to somebody with a broken arm in the yard?
Game over, Cody.
Wouldn't be good.
But in all seriousness, I am excited for this matchup because I mean Dominic Mysterio has been one of the hottest acts in the WWE right now. Like he is just super over, like as a heel. Like I mean, I think he's killing it, and I think it's awesome that like Cody's going to be in this match with him for Money in the Bank because obviously we're getting Cody and Lesnar 3 at SummerSlam. So why not have this matchup at Money in the Bank?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, they're obviously trying to keep Cody away from Roman until 40, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
But I love Dom right now too. I think he's doing great. I love the reactions he's getting. I think that this is a great match for him to put him in there with Cody and kind of elevate him. And you know, it's a good little match for Cody to fill a month to stay away from that world title.
Yeah. I totally agree. Breigh, what do you think on this one?
I mean, it's a good, again, like you guys said, it's a good way to keep Cody busy too. And I think Dominic's going to put on a pretty good match. I mean, he's not bad in the ring. And plus, you know, he's getting better. And plus the heat, he's going to have so much heat.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I think Cody's going to bring out the best in Dominic. I think he's going to bring out the best in him.
And just imagine the reaction, you know, from a UK crowd too. We already know that they're going to be hot as it is, but imagine the reaction that Dom is going to get from a UK crowd who doesn't get live events all the time.
Oh yeah, I also think too, it's like Cody is definitely going to do a hell of a job in this matchup because I think he's going to go back to like think about when, you know, Ray did a huge favor and wrestled Cody at WrestleMania 27, like his first real WrestleMania like singles match. So I think it's cool how it's like things have come full circle. Now Cody's the top star, and now he's going to be working with Dominic. So I'm really pumped for this one. I think this is going to be just the best way I can describe this matchup is fun. I think this is going to be a fun matchup. Yeah. It's going to be fun to see the crowd's interaction. It's going to be see like how Cody interacts with Dominic, and you know, Mommy is gonna be near for this one too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this will be the sleeper match of the card.
I do too. I think don't sleep on it. This could steal the show possibly.
Yeah.
But Cody's winning. I mean, I love you, Dom, but yeah.
Yeah. No way Cody loses.
Yeah. So regardless of the hard time you've served, you cannot survive a crossroads, Dom. But I don't know. Like I say, I think this is gonna be a fun one.
Cody knows about hard times.
This is true. I see what you did there, and I like it. But hey, this is a big night for Judgment Day, but this is probably the biggest one for Judgment Day. And man, I am pumped for this one. I think like as far as like storylines and storytelling going into this Money in the Bank, this is, to me, I feel like this matchup is the most underappreciated. But man, it's going to be so good. Finn Balor challenging Seth freaking Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Hambone, what do you think of this build for this and how they've gone back to use like the SummerSlam stuff from years ago?
So I really wish that the build for this had been a little bit longer because I have really enjoyed the promos and stuff that both of these two have done, especially the one that Finn just did on Raw, that whole backstage vignette that he did. I really liked it. I really liked the way it was shot. I love, you know, bringing in their past to it. So I've enjoyed what has been done for the build-up. I just wish we had it a little bit longer than we've had it.
Yeah, I agree. I wish we could have had it for a little bit longer. But, you know, then again, they're going back to a story from like so many years ago, which is amazing to me that they've never really like utilized that in the past. There's you know, that incredible matchup from SummerSlam years ago, man. Breigh, what are your thoughts on this one?
This one's probably the matchup that I'm most looking forward to because I specifically remember that SummerSlam match and was so happy that Finn Balor won it. And I like that they are taking it back 7 years ago and bringing that up. And it's really, I mean, Seth probably will win, but the build that they're kind of going with, it just makes you kind of wonder what, Finn could possibly win.
Yeah, I agree. There is that. I mean, we ultimately know. I think at the end of the day, Seth retains. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a little bit of you that's like it's very believable. Like, well, what if Finn wins?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Seth is going to win too, but I agree that there is that part of me where I'm like, I could see Finn winning though, especially, with the tension they've been kind of teasing between him and Damian Priest and Judgment Day. I could see Finn winning this, and what if Damian won Money in the Bank? And then we've really got some tension between them two. So, if Damian Priest walked out with the Money in the Bank, I would be more apt to say Finn wins this, but I do think Seth walks out with it.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Mr. B. Roll. Shout out to you, buddy. He had an interesting thought on this, and it was the same kind of what you just said there, Hambone. Is like Damian Priest wins Money in the Bank. Now his was pretty good laid out. Was like Finn doesn't beat Seth at Money in the Bank, but they have a rematch at SummerSlam. Seth would win there, or Finn would win there. Like how apropos him to win at SummerSlam. But yeah, I agree. Like whoever wins that Money in the Bank, that I feel like you're gonna know. Like okay, that's who's gonna win this matchup. I will say this: whoever does win the men's Money in the Bank, I truly believe this is the belt they're gonna go after, regardless.
I was literally just gonna say that, Xlj. Like, it was say especially if we're talking LA Knight, it's gonna be this belt, right? Because nobody is going to. There's no way that he beats Roman, because, and as far as I'm concerned, we're going to 40, with Cody again. So I don't see that happening. So if he does win, it's definitely this belt that people are gonna go for.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But I think, at the end of the day, Seth retains. And like I say, don't be surprised if Mr. Paul wins that MIB, man. He gets that case, then could cash it in on Seth this night. Like, I could see it going down like this. Like, Seth retains. It's a brutal matchup. Finn's pissed. Finn decides he's going to get revenge, and he does the exact spot that took him out 7 years ago and power bombs him on the guardrail. And then you hear Logan Paul's music. He comes down and cashes in. I can see it happening. I hope it doesn't happen, but
Don't do it, Paul.
Yeah.
Don't do it. That's a terrible idea, Paul. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't listen to me. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Seth retains. And of course, the Bloodline Civil War are what's probably going to be your main event. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa against the Usos. Hambone, I got to get your personal thoughts on this because I think you're kind of like most fans, it's kind of like over the Bloodline story, right?
So yes, I am getting to the point where I am over it because I mean I'm interested to see what happens now that the Usos have officially left. But before this, it just felt like weeks and weeks of the same of do we trust each other? Don't we trust each other? Every week it's just the same thing. So I am happy now that the Usos have officially left. I don't think that this is the end. We got to see Solo leave so that Roman is by himself by 40. So this Bloodline storyline is not over. But I am, I'm back into it now that they've left and to see what happens from here. So,
yeah, I think like I've been okay with it. Like I feel like what they've done after Mania has been interesting enough. Like I know some people don't. That's not a popular opinion, but now that we're getting into this matchup, though, like, and I honestly I thought they were going to drag it out all the more, honestly. So I'm kind of glad that we're finally getting this matchup, and the Usos have splintered off from the Bloodline.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that even though there were a couple weeks there where it kind of felt like it was getting repetitive, that segment where they finally did leave, and between Jay and Jimmy, I mean, that was a great segment. Cinema.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he should definitely be nominated for an Oscar for that.
Right.
You're out, and I'm out too. Bam! But Breigh, what are your thoughts on this Bloodline Civil War matchup in the build?
I'm glad it's finally happening because I'm tired of this. I'm just tired of the bloodline in general. So this is the one I'm most torn about. Like who is gonna win, though.
Well, I have a theory. And no, not Austin theory, but my theory is this. And I kind of said this like last month. I'm gonna go with it again, only switching the wrestlers. I think Usos win, and I think it's gonna shock the world because I think Jey Uso is gonna pin Roman Reigns.
Oh.
And I think that's gonna set up to SummerSlam, Jey Uso getting a title shot against Roman.
Yeah.
That's what I think is gonna happen.
I like that.
Okay. So I do think that the Usos are going to win. Also because, like I said, I just don't. This storyline is not over, and if the Usos win or lose, I don't really feel like that pushes the storyline forward. So I do think that they win, but I would think that they pin Solo just so they can start this. Now Roman's going to start giving Solo shit so that Solo can get sick of him and then finally leave in 3-4 months or whenever he finally decides to do it. So I do think the Usos win, but I think they pin Solo. But I'd be very interested again if they pinned Roman. That would give it a twist. That would make me real interested again.
I know, right? And I feel like it's got to happen at some point. I mean, we know he's not dropping the belt anytime soon, but I mean, it's not going to hurt him if he takes a pinfall loss in a tag match.
Right.
I mean, I think that's long overdue. So,
and if there's anybody he'd probably do it for, it'll be one of his cousins, So.
Oh yeah, and it just makes the story all the more like important, and like it sets it up perfectly as like why he would get a title shot at SummerSlam. So, but I could also see, like you're saying, Solo loses it, and then Roman just goes off on Solo. I could also see too, like still being Roman loses, but he blames it on Solo. Like you could be a scenario where like Solo has this moment where like he's going to do something to one of his real life brothers, and there's hesitation or something, and like ends up costing him the match or something. Like that could happen too.
Yeah, I could definitely see that too. I think this is the one. This is probably the match that I am most looking forward to, just because I want to see what the ending is going to be. How is this playing out? What is the finish going to be? So yeah, I think this is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Well, I think that speaks volumes about these four guys too, and what they've been able to do. Because, like, my God, this bloodline story's been going on forever. And like in today's landscape of professional wrestling, this is very rare where you see storytelling like this. Because I mean, let's face facts, we're in a culture now where it's like, give me, I want. I want to get to the end of this real quick so I can move on to the next thing and the next thing. But I mean, this has been long, meticulously drawn out. So, and I'm all for it, man. But
it's kind of funny when you think about it, because if you think about, like, we're all like, oh yeah, this storyline won't end. It's been going on forever. But then think about it ending. And then what? You know what I mean? Like now we're at a point where we're at a WWE that doesn't have a bloodline storyline. It almost kind of feels like they're taking like the heart of the show out of it once they end this. Because that's how I felt with, KO and Sammy being taken out of it. It was like something big from the storyline had been taken out, and now KO and Sammy are just kind of slumming it in the tag team division.
Yeah, which I think also too. I don't think it's officially announced, but they may add it where I believe KO and Sammy are supposed to go against Pretty Deadly, or that could be this Friday on SmackDown. I don't know, but anyway. But yeah. So Hambone, did you say you're going with the Usos on this one?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, Breigh, who you got in this Bloodline Civil War?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Usos too. I think Solo's gonna. One of the brothers is gonna pin Solo.
That's right, because you're down. Because Hambone's been down with the Usos since day one-ish. Just saying.
Since this whole thing that they were doing.
Oh my God, yes. And that's the crazy thing too. Think of their
How
long
far
career,
they have come.
how far they've come from like the stupid little face paint to the little colorful outfits and that little, thing. And now look who.
You guys even remember? Do you remember even their debut? Like they debuted like with Tamina as their manager. Like they weren't even the face paint yet. They were just.
Yep.
Those.
It's just amazing to look how far they've come and where they're at now. So.
Yeah.
But I think it does speak volumes though that this is the most intriguing matchup on the card, considering like you've got 2 Money in the Bank matchups, the history between Seth and Finn. But this, I agree. I think this is the one that's going to intrigue us all. And I will say this: I'd be shocked as shit if this doesn't go on last.
Yeah, so would I.
But it's going to be a fun Money in the Bank card. Do you have any bold predictions of something outside the box that we may see on this night? A little surprise, if you will.
Maybe Austin Theory inserts himself again.
Oh.
No, but it'd be kind of funny. That did happen.
Maybe the Usos lay out Roman at the end, and then LA Knight comes in and cashes in.
Oh my!
What if?
God.
What if he walked out of the UK with that title?
I honestly, as bad as I want to see Cody be the one, I am totally fucking fine if that happened. It wouldn't. It's not going to happen, but it would be fucking nuts if it did.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine the pop.
Oh yeah.
Here's what you do with that Hambone. Here's what you do. You literally have it happen, and you hit LA Knight's music, and he comes out to like cash in, but you tease it, like some solo jumps LA Knight or something like that. But just the fact that you tease it, that would be literally the loudest ovation. That fucking because that I'm telling you, man, that crowd would go fucking ballistic if that happened.
Yep. And even if say you did do it, and say LA doesn't even cash it in, say Solo stops him, maybe that could lead to Roman having a month or two little feud with LA for the title, but not with the Money in the Bank briefcase being on the line, so that maybe we could get LA Knight into that scene without having him actually have to cash in.
Oh, that's true too. I think one thing I kind of talked about it briefly, but my understanding is that Drew McIntyre is scheduled to be at Money in the Bank in some capacity. And my understanding is they've reached an agreement, like I don't think it's official, but like his big gripe was like creative, and I think they're going to allow him to have creative over his stuff he does. So, I think they're going to have him in time for this Money in the Bank show.
Well, I will say, if he comes back, especially if he's involved in his own creative, I hope he fucking comes back completely different, because the past year or two of Drew McIntyre has been boring as shit. He has gotten very stale. He hasn't changed his character, his look, nothing. He's the same guy as he was when he showed up, and I think he needs a complete overhaul. I think he needs a new look. I think he needs a new character, everything. So if he does come back, I hope it's completely different.
Yeah. Something's got to give. Like, something would have to change. I don't know, but we'll have to see. But we'll find out all coming this Saturday at Money in the Bank. And I can just say, as like an old adult, I'm happy this is like 2:00 in the afternoon our time.
I'm just happy it's Saturday.
And Saturday too, yes.
I'm just happy with Saturday pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Why do we do Sundays? Why do we do Sundays? It's so stupid.
It is. It truly is. Well, that is going to wrap it up for our Money in the Bank prediction show. And Hambone, tell us where we can find you, brother.
You can find me on Twitter at notorious_bone. You can find me on Instagram under my shoot name, Thomas.Cummings920. And then you can find me on the TikTok right there. Hambone with all those A's and all those O's. You fucking Mark.
Yeah, fucking Mark. And Breigh, tell us where we can find you at.
Pretty basic. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram under my name, Breigh.soap.
There you go. And always don't forget to check them out every Wednesday night on the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack over on Twitch.
Yes.
Well, that's going to wrap it up again. Thank you both so much, and everybody enjoy Money in the Bank this Saturday. And as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. See you at the matches, folks.